So in this video, I want to talk about my AtGames Legends Pinball machine and specifically talk about the upgrades that I have done to it since I last posted a video. Last time I posted a video about this machine, I had just talked about that I installed Pinball Emporium on it and how I thought it was incredible. It's still running Pinball Emporium. Unfortunately, there hasn't been a lot of development with Pinball Emporium. They haven't upgraded it. They haven't added any new releases. I mean, I think you can still download it, but there hasn't been any advancement. And obviously, it still works. I'm using it right now. And very appropriately, it's like, this is the Empire Strikes Back pinball game. As you can see, my pinball machine looks completely different. So the big upgrades that I've done to the machine are, number one, I wrapped it in a Star Wars... I bought a wrap on BuyStuffArcades.com. This isn't sponsored. I just they happen to have a lot of cool stuff that you can get for AtGames machines and other machines as well. Not necessarily AtGames, but they do have a lot of upgrades you can buy, including bigger back boxes, that kind of thing. This is completely stock. I just wanted to change the look of the machine. And well, to be honest, my wife never really liked the original look of the machine, how it had sort of some racy imagery on the side, and I understand. So she encouraged me to pick a new look for it, and I chose Star Wars because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and so I went with that, and yeah, I think it came out pretty good. It wasn't the first time I've done a kind of like a wrap job on a machine, because I put this machine together. This is, and I did the wrapping on all of it on this machine as well. But this is for another video. This is like a more of an in-depth kind of video where this is just a straight up, this has thousands of games and stuff, but I'm not gonna go into it in this video. If you're interested in me posting a video on this machine, leave it in the comments and I'll do it, but I'm in no rush to talk about it because it's there's a lot going on in here. So about the wrap, took me about 3 to 4 hours to do because it is a bit time consuming. I didn't have to take the legs off of the machine. I just sort of cut the wrap off on the leg here, and it looks okay. I mean, it could have been probably a little better, but from a distance you really can't tell. It looks really good, honestly. So this area here was probably the trickiest because of the legs, because I didn't want to take the legs off, and that's fine. The front was pretty tricky as well, because you actually have to go inside the machine and you have to take these buttons off not the pusher, not the you don't have to take that off, but you have to take this panel off and these buttons off, and actually to do the wrap job you have to take these buttons off too. There are instructions out there on YouTube. I'll try to remember to put one on my in the description below. BuyStuffArcades YouTube channel, they have a video. That's what I followed, and it came out okay. So just follow their video if you want to buy one of these wraps. They have a lot of selections, and honestly, I think it completely transforms the machine, and it looks pretty incredible in my opinion. I get a lot of people say how awesome it looks. The more recent upgrade that I did, this actually did a little more recently. I don't have any footage of me putting this wrap on, so again, refer to their video. But this I actually have some video on. I bought the flat cables, because I used to have like this thing where I was running cables here to the back here, so I can hook up my computer to run in Pinball Emporium, that kind of thing. So again, gotta give credit to my wife. She encouraged me to finally buy these cables, which I've been holding off. I've been holding off to do it because I thought it was very complicated to install. Turned out it was very easy to install. All you have to do is you have to remove this back cover to reach some wing nuts on the back box here, and then you sort of don't have to take off the back box. You don't have to disconnect any wiring. You can just sort of slide these cables underneath and pull them out to the back, and honestly you can see a little bit of the cable there, but compared to how I had like these wires draping off the side, I think it looks significantly better. It looks a lot more like finished, and like most people wouldn't even tell that there's like a there's a computer running inside of this machine that's running Pinball Emporium and running on making all of it work. So now I want to inject a little commentary on AtGames in general, and how I think they sort of abandoned this machine, the Pinball Legends HD. This is like and they're just simply concentrating on the 4K version. I sort of understand they wanted to kind of push technology forward, and I guess my assumption is that the hardware inside of this pinball machine is not good enough to run the games that they're trying to put out now. So you need to have a 4K machine in order to run new games, but I still think that they should put out new games for this one. So they sort of abandoned it, even though they are still selling it as far as I can tell. So it's more important than ever to just, you know, have like a run a computer or something separate through the HDMI port and all that, just like I'm doing here, in order to keep this machine going, because there's nothing wrong with this machine. I've never thought when I was playing this thing that I needed 4K. From this distance where I'm standing and playing the machine, I don't, and the same goes for the back box. It really looks fine to me. It's more than adequate in size, and I never wanted for more resolution. I don't know if AtGames can put out maybe newer games and have them available for like the stock, you know, interface, and not necessarily running like a computer inside. But I think they should sort of, you know, not completely forget about this machine, because it is a good machine, and it's sort of, you know, it's what put them on the map with this whole like digital pinball machine, accessible to, you know, it's a very accessible digital pinball when you're not stuck with like let's say Arcade 1-Up pinball machines are smaller and you're limited to maybe eight games at most. This one you can have I think they got to have like 100 games or more, maybe 150, 200 games that you can play on that you can actually get through AtGames, which I think is great. So you're not stuck with just like Star Wars games, Attack from Mars or something. There's a lot more to do on this machine, and I think that is great. But, you know, that's pretty much all I got to say about this. I think it's, you know, the machine's better than ever, and it's still working great. And I have no regrets whatsoever in getting it. And, you know, if you can get one of these used, maybe, you know, I can imagine that some of these are probably showing up on Facebook Marketplace, that kind of thing, for dirt cheap. Pick one up, you know, buy a wrap for it, make it look like a brand new machine. If you want to go the extra mile and put a computer in it, or run it, you don't have to. I'm the only crazy guy that probably put a computer inside this thing, but now you can probably buy a mini PC. They sell like if you go to Minis Forum, or maybe you could probably buy a cheap mini PC and just stick it in there, you know, instead of doing what I did and using like a real graphics card and a real computer, you know, like a mini desktop computer. There's probably easier ways to do what I did without having to go through all the trouble of trying to fit this big computer in there and you know, a power supply and all that stuff. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Let me know if you have any questions about what I did. And again, all the stuff that I bought here, again, not sponsored. The wrap, the flat cables, I bought at BuyStuffArcades. Highly recommended place to get cool stuff for your AtGames pinball machine, or any AtGames machine for that matter. All right, well, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Really appreciate it if you can like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.